What is going on, YouTube? Joe here with Color Nation Media, and welcome back to another live Pokemon X and Y Wi-Fi battle against a subscriber/follower on Twitter. And today we're going up against Brady in an RU match. And if you guys watched the last Wi-Fi battle that was on the channel, it was a PU match. We had half the team here. The last three members you see on the right are coming back today, and I just threw a couple of RU Pokemon in there, basically, and that's what we're doing. So, good luck to you, Brady. Of course, I know you're watching this after the fact, but it's still, you know, good as far as sportsmanship is concerned to say good luck. So I hope you guys are doing okay today. Before we get started and before I give you guys a little overview on the team, as I always say, I always encourage you guys to leave a comment in the comment section below if you feel so inclined. I do take suggestions for teams or specific Pokemon that you would like to see. I usually have at least one suggestion per battle, or sometimes more than that. And of course, if you guys would like to show your support, you can always leave a like or whatever you would like to do. So moving on, let's take a look at the team here. We have Focus Sash Butterfree starting on the right here. It's going to be our sweeper. It's got Quiver Dance and a Focus Sash and all that fun stuff. Then we have Floette, which is going to be defensive, of course, with Eviolite. Then we have a Choice Band Marill, which is incredibly powerful. Then we have Choice Specs Delphox. We have physically defensive Hitmontop, good old Turnip, with Intimidate and Counter, which is something that I really enjoy using. And then specially defensive Cradily with Stealth Rocks. My opponent, on the other hand, is bringing some serious power here as far as the RU Pokemon are concerned. Durant immediately jumps out at me. It's probably going to be Hone Claws, or it could be Choice Band as well. Either one. Both of them are very, very powerful with the hustle and all that. You guys have seen, you most likely seen, the power of Durant on this channel. Then we have the Slurpuff down at the bottom, which is also very, very scary because whether it's the Calm Mindset or Belly Drum, both of them are perfectly capable of sweeping teams. Sharpedo is always a threat with the speed boost. He's got the Heliolisk, which is usually choiced, so I'm expecting it to be either Scarf or Specs, although it could be Life Orb as well. I guess we'll see. The Tyrantrum, probably going to be Dragon Dance, although it could be the Stealth Rock user for the team as well. And then Cofagrigus is usually defensive, but we could see a Trick Room user, I guess. The rest of his team doesn't look very Trick Roomish though, so I'd have to say it's probably just going to be defensive. And there we go. So we're going to lead off with Cradily, and my goal here is to just set up rocks immediately, or try at least, because he has some things that could be Focus Sash. Like the Heliolisk, it could be Focus Sash. That's not common, but it could be. And then we have the Sharpedo, which could be Focus Sash as well. Not common, but at the very least, if we're going to have a lot of switches going on, I would like to punish that with some hazards. I know his team isn't weak to them, but every little bit of damage will matter, especially with the Slurpuff. If it's trying to get up a Belly Drum, at least a little bit of baby damage coming in goes a long way. Alright, so out comes the Cradily and the Tyrantrum to start things off here. And I'm really not too afraid of this thing. Trying to think what it could have for me. Possibly Ice Fang, but I don't think that can one-shot. I don't think. Do I want to switch? We could go into Turnip for the Intimidate, but I don't know what kind of set this is going to be. We could Toxic this too. But I think the best play here is to just get up rocks, like I said, stick to the original goal, and then after that, then we can figure out what we're going to do. He's setting up a Dragon Dance on turn 1. He is going all in right now. He's just going to try to sweep my team right from the beginning, which is a little bit scary. Not going to lie. Not going to lie. I don't want to leave Cradily in because I'm specially defensive. I know I have max HP and I should be able to take a hit, but it's a Tyrantrum, and Tyrantrum gets underestimated very often with how powerful it is. It can dish out a ridiculous amount of damage. I probably would go for Ice Fang, I'd have to say. I guess he could go for Stone Edge because it's neutral. He could go for a Dragon-type move too. I guess there's a lot of options, but in the off chance he's going to go for the Stone Edge, I'm going to go into Turnip because at least we resist that. And we get the Intimidate off, so that's, you know, that definitely helps. So he's back down to neutral attack here. He is going to pull out the Ice Fang, and we'll see how much that does. It is boosted by the Strong Jaw. That kind of did a lot. That kind of scares me, because that's at neutral attack. I think I want to go for a counter here, because I'm pretty sure I can take a Dragon-type move, Dragon Claw. So we'll see if we can surprise him with a counter here, because if he hits me with a Dragon Claw, he's dead. No, he switches out, so we're going to give away that we have the counter, unfortunately. Out comes the Cofagrigus, and I really can't touch this. I can Toxic it, and that's about it. Because I have the Rapid Spin to ensure that I don't have rocks up on my side of the field. Hazards are bad for this team, because obviously Butterfree would take 50%. And it would also break my focus stash, so that's terrible. And I've got a choice to use her in Delphox that's weak to rock, so he'll be, you know, switching in and out most likely several times throughout the battle. We don't want rocks up for that because it'll take 25%. And Delphox is fairly frail to begin with, so we don't want any, you know, unnecessary damage going on there. So we get the Toxic off, and he goes for the Will-O-Wisp, and we avoid the attack. Now, that's not the end of the world for my opponent, because all that really would have done would be force me to go into Floette and get an aromatherapy off, and that really isn't that big of a deal. But he doesn't know that I have aromatherapy at this point, so I could understand a little bit of frustration there. There's always, you know, the Will-O-Miss. The freaking Will-O-Miss. Very, very annoying. I, for one, know that I get irritated just about every single time that I miss Will-O-Wisp. I know it doesn't have perfect accuracy. I know you're taking the risk by even carrying it or, you know, going for it, because it's not a perfect accuracy move. But it's like, it's one of those things. It's like always so disheartening when you miss, even if it doesn't matter. So we're going to switch out here. I don't want to get burned. So I will go out into the Floette if he wants to go for the Willow again. And no, he opts to go for the Infestation this time around, which could have been very bad if I had stayed in with Hitmontop, because I literally cannot touch this Cofagrigus at all. I'm not even running Pursuit. I could be running Pursuit over Mach Punch, or Counter, but I decided that would be the best set to go with. So it's not like a recommended set or anything. It's something that I threw together that's really wacky that happens to work a lot of the times. The downside is you need something on your team that can handle ghost types, and I don't really have anything specifically for ghost types, which I probably should if I'm packing that on my team, but Floette can take care of this Cofagrigus. He does have the Protect, so Will-O-Wisp, Protect, Infestation. The last move has to be Shadow Ball. I would have to get. He has to have some kind of, you know, stab as an attacking move. Probably, I mean, he could be running Pain Split, but that would be a really... I don't want to say bad set, but it's just taunt bait. So I don't know. If I had to guess, I would say Shadow Ball is going to be that last move. So we are getting hurt by the Infestation, but I'm not really afraid. I'm not really afraid. I mean, yeah, you know what? We might just want to stay in and just go for Moonblast here, because what is he going to do to me? I have my Wish up. There's nothing to be afraid of. There should be no fear. And Floette is an absolute monster. This is the second time I've used it, and the last battle I used it, you guys probably watched that already by the time this goes up. Floette just puts in work. Way more than I would have expected, and I'm actually beginning to like it a lot more than Florges. So we're going for the Moonblast as Durant switches in. That does so much damage. That's a resisted hit. That did a ridiculous amount of damage. I know Durant has absolute poop for special defense, but that is a lot. That is a lot. Especially because I'm defensive. I have a weird setup as far as EVs are concerned, but yeah, I'm mostly defensive. Anyway, so let's see what we want to do here. I still don't know what kind of set this is. He could be Hone Claws, or he could just be Choiced. Either way, he's probably packing the Iron Head. Is it worth staying in? I'm pretty sure he just KOs me through the Eviolite. So I'm going to switch out. There's no reason to keep Floette in here. We still need it for that Cofagrigus. So I will go out into Turnip because it is my physically defensive Mon for this team. We get the nice Intimidate off, and he does go for the Hone Claws. All right, now we know what set this is. And that puts us in a bit of a pickle, unfortunately. Because he knows I have the counter, and he knows I may just be going for it right here. If he goes for another Hone Claws as I counter, I'm in a lot of trouble. And really, the only thing I have to hit him with is Mach Punch. Otherwise. So that doesn't exactly invoke a lot of confidence, but I really didn't have any other switch-ins. Meryl would just get destroyed by an Iron Head. after a Hone Claws. Delphox, I think, would get destroyed by an X-Scissor. In fact, Ironhead would probably do well over half after a Hone Claws boost. And Cradily dies to either of Durant's stabs. He's weak to both of them, unfortunately. So really, yeah, Turnip is my only answer to this. And even with the Intimidate, I'm very scared of this thing. And that base 109 speed is a problem, too. I could try to predict another Hone Claws and go into Delphox, but that doesn't help me because I'm not Scarfed. If I was Scarfed, I'd be okay. He's going to withdraw the Durant. I was not expecting that. He goes into the Cofagrigus. Huh. Okay, well, I went for the counter again. And we are going to get back up to full health here, or just under full health. He's going to get some lefties recovery as well, but he is toxic, and I don't see anything on his team, or I don't remember seeing anything on his team that could get rid of a toxic condition. So we're okay here. That actually kind of saved my butt. That Durant could have potentially swept my team if I did not play that correctly. If he went for Hone Claws as I countered, that would have been disastrous. Alright, so let's see here. This Cofagrigus is slowly but surely getting worn down by that toxic damage. But in the meantime, I really don't have anything to handle it. I would love to predict a Will-O-Wisp here, and you know what? That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to predict either a Will-O-Wisp or an Infestation and go into Delphox. And then we should be able to KO with the Fire Blast. Oh no, he goes for the Shadow Ball. Now he pulls out the Shadow Ball. That was a good play on my opponent's part. He hasn't pulled it out up until this point. Finally shows it off, so now we know for certain what that final move slot is. Well, at least we don't have to worry about the Pain Split. So as it's getting weakened, you know, he's not going to recover any of his HP. Unless the Slurpuff is like defensive with Wish or something. I think it gets Wish. Anyway, I'm going to go for the Fire Blast here. And, ooh, I probably should have predicted Tyrantrum to come out. He's going to switch into Tyrantrum. No, he goes for the Protect. Okay. So I'm not sure why you would want to do that, because you're just taking more toxic damage. You're just letting that rack up. Although, if you're assuming that I'm going to be choiced in some way, trying to figure out what exactly I'm locked into could be worth that toxic damage. So that could be a really good play on his part. It depends on what he wants to do here, or what the strategy is. Of course, I don't know what my opponent's thought process is, so that would be my guess. Could be worth it. Part of me wants to go into Floette, predicting the Tyrantrum to come out, because Tyrantrum can't really do much to me, and I can just Moonblast. But I think I'm going to stick with the Fire Blast here, because Tyrantrum does have poop for special defense, so we should be able to get him down to maybe about half if he does want to bring in the Tyrantrum. And that's really what I'm thinking here. He does opt to switch, and there is the Tyrantrum. Okay, well, at least I should not have second-guessed myself. I'm trying to play safe here, because we're still, I know we're over 10 minutes into the match, but this is still pretty even. It's still early. It's still 6-6. And I don't want to waste a Pokemon. Now, a Wandissimo actually doesn't look that important for this match, because the main thing you would think it would be useful for would be the Durant, but we get outsped by it, because Delphox has a base speed of 104, and Durant has a base speed of 109, and Heliolisk actually is 109 too, so the things that we outspeed, like Tyrantrum, we can't really do a whole lot to. So, there's that. I mean, I guess we could always switcheroo if we could time it correctly on a Dragon Dance or something, but we'll see how it plays out. Regardless, I'm switching right back into Turnip here to get the Intimidate off on a potential Dragon Dance or Rock-type move, and he is just going to withdraw. So we see a double switch here, pulling a double into Rango, which is going to be the Heliolisk. He's going to take a little bit of damage due to the rocks, which is nice, because like I said, there's a potential that it could be, you know, Focus Dash. You never know. And it is a somewhat of a frail Pokemon, especially on the physical side, so it's possible. I'm going to go for the Mach Punch here, and that should be expected. He may scout for that by switching out, and hard switching, not Volt switching. We'll see. Because he could just go right back into the Cofagrigus because I can't touch it. And I guess the only thing that really helps me with that is that he's going to be weakened further by Toxic and Rocks and such with no way to recover. Once that Cofagrigus gets out of the way, Turnip can really wreak some havoc on this team because Heliolisk does not like Mach Punches. That really opens the door to Mach Punch the Durant. I know it's not going to do a lot of damage because we're defensive, but having that priority is helpful. Yeah, it just is. It just is. Because that Durant is taking rocks damage when it comes in too, so that's helpful. I've been saying helpful a lot. I don't know why, that's my word of the day. Cofagrigus does come back out as we go for the Mach Punch, so I don't know, like I said, if he was scouting for the Mach Punch there. Either way, we did show it off. So we've shown off our entire moveset with the exception of Rapid Spin because he has not set up any hazards or anything. This Cofagrigus is on its way out. And I think he's going to try to change things up. I really feel like he's going to try to change things up. I want to go into Wandissimo again, but is that worth the risk, really? I mean, we're still at 6 Pokemon apiece. We could go into Floette, and you know what? That's what I'm going to do. Because he really can't touch me. He really can't do anything. He can Will-O-Wisp, and I can Aromatherapy that away. He can go for Infestation. That really doesn't bother me too much. And Shadow Ball, even with our Eviolite and everything and our Natural Bulk, that does absolutely nothing. He does get the special D-Drop, which, I mean, he's going to live this turn of Toxic, obviously. You know, he's got the lefties too, so he might even live one more turn. Yeah, he's going to live another turn. Now we're in a little bit of a pickle, I guess. I mean, we could just continually protect. I'm going to throw up a Wish here. Going to predict another Shadow Ball, or possibly even a Will-O-Wisp here, because I don't think we've shown off the Aromatherapy. Yeah, he does go for the Willow here, okay. So that's actually better than Shadow Ball, because we would obviously take quite a bit more from it because of the special D-Drop. Now I think he's in a range where one more turn of Toxic will finish him off. The question is, do we want to heal the burn, or do we want to avoid taking all that damage from an incoming Shadow Ball before this thing goes down? I think that taking the damage from the Shadow Ball is better, and he may even switch out here. So that, well, no, because of rocks, he might not want to switch out. So then the Cofagrigus is as good as dead afterwards. He's probably not going to switch. Maybe that was a bad play. Maybe. Cause we still have a Wish, though. We still have a Wish that we're going to get. So we're going to be close to full HP. So this actually does put us in a good position. Like I said earlier, getting this Cofagrigus out of the way was a little bit of a tall task and time-consuming because my team wasn't really built to take it on. But once it's out of the way, Mach Punch becomes a possibility. Out comes the Durant, takes a little bit of damage due to the rocks. We get that Aromatherapy off to get rid of that burn. It really would have helped if I went for the Moonblast there. And he may have been trying to bait that to get Durant in safely while keeping the Cofagrigus as death fodder, possibly. That could be a strategy. I don't know. I don't know. Now, if I switch, he gets up Hone Claws again. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to go for the Moonblast. With that Cofagrigus as weak as it is, we don't need Floette anymore. So if he wants to Iron Head and he kills me, then so be it. Floette has put in a lot of work. I really can't be upset with his performance. And we really don't need to Wish past anything either. Most of our team is full health, with the exception of Wandissimo. But Wandissimo's frail as can be anyway, so being at full health isn't that big of a deal. Oh, I feel like I've been talking too much. Like, I've just been, I don't know, talking very, very quickly. There's a lot I've been wanting to say in this battle, though. A lot of things I've been trying to go over as far as, like, thought processes and what I'm thinking and what my opponent could possibly be thinking. I don't know. I know for some of you it does help. So I just try to say everything that goes through my mind during the match. Well, not everything, but Pokemon-related things, at least. He's taking a long time to think about his move here. I would say... Oh, he's just going to withdraw again. Okay. And he's going to go back into... Or not back into. He's going to predict me to switch and trying to get a safe switch into Pound Cake, the Slurpuff. But we did go for the Moonblast. And I think he just barely has enough HP to get off a Belly Drum if he's carrying that. And it's going to be close, because he probably has a Citrus Berry. It's going to be close after the Citrus if he would survive another Moonblast. And I think I really don't have much of a choice. I have to go for it here. Yeah, he took a big risk there. I think he predicted me to switch out into anything else. It doesn't really matter what. Wow, okay, he does go for the belly drum, and we really need to hope this Moonblast kills. It's going to be close. He survives with like 1 HP after the belly drum, but he's going to eat that citrus berry. Nom, 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 nom. Citrus. Okay, no, he's definitely going to go down. Definitely going to go down. Okay, for some reason, I thought he was going to get more HP back than that, but it's always 25%, so I guess that was kind of silly. Down goes the Slurpuff. That is a huge threat out of the way. That was just kind of looming over our heads for this match because, you know, Belly Drum can sweep entire teams very easily. Well, not Belly Drum can't. Belly Drum Slurpuff can. So that's good. Very, very, very good. Floette kind of rescuing us there from a potential crisis. We still have that Durant to deal with, though, which, again, Hone Claw's Durant is a problem. And he is going to send it back out here. It's going to take more damage due to the rocks. It could be Life Orb, actually. We haven't seen it actually attack. The only thing it's actually done is Hone Claws. And that's really not too good for my opponent, that he hasn't actually attacked with it yet, and it already has that much damage done to it. That's not good. That's not good, but I think I don't know. He may predict a switch. I don't know. I'm going to go for the Moonblast either way. I'm sticking to the original strategy. He does go for the Iron Head, and that just is a one-shot through the Eviolite from max HP. That just goes to show you the sheer power of Durant. It is a monster. That is crazy power. Like I said before, we cannot switch in Wandissimo that easily just because we do get outsped, unless this Durant is adamant, because I am timid. So we could potentially outspeed it, but chances are it's probably Jolly. So we get the Intimidate off, which is nice because he doesn't have a Hone Claws up, so that kind of negates the Hustle boost. And he doesn't have his accuracy up, so he could miss an attack. And I think 2 Mach Punches would be enough to take him out. Now, if I was him, or if I were him, I'd probably switch out here. I would switch out into the Cofagrigus, but I'm going to go for the Mach Punch anyway. Because I think this is a decent time to fodder it off, and then you can get a safe switch into something. And avoid the Intimidate with the Durant, and, you know, that just puts you at a disadvantage. It really does. He is going to withdraw, so bye-bye Durant yet again. The downside is he has to take more damage due to rocks coming back in. And the Cofagrigus does come out. And with lefties, he might actually survive the toxic damage of this turn, which would be really bad for us. Because then he gets a chance to either burn us or Shadow Ball or something. And, oh my gosh, he barely survives. The lefties saved him there. Oh, he's got like 2.5 HP remaining. And you know what? This time, I think I want to predict a Will-O-Wisp. I know I did that last time when he went for Shadow Ball and it really screwed me as far as Wandissimo taking all that damage. I think he's going to predict me to think a little bit differently this time. But you know what? I'm going to make the exact same move and predict my opponent to do a little bit of an over-prediction. And there we go. So out comes Wandissimo, and he does go for the Will-O-Wisp. Fantastic. So we get that safe switch into our beautiful Delphox here, which he really hasn't been able to do a whole lot. All he's done is take damage, basically. We hit a Fire Blast on a Tyrantrum, which that really didn't do a whole lot for us. I mean, every little bit of damage counts, I know, but yeah. So the Cofagrigus goes down to the toxic damage, finally. Oh my gosh, how long did that thing stick around with no recovery? It's unbelievable that we're over 20 minutes into this match and it survived that long without getting a Wish Pass to it or anything. Or having Pain Split even. So out comes Rango, the Heliolisk. Takes a little bit of damage due to the rocks again. This thing does outspeed us regardless of whether or not it's scarfed. So we probably don't want to stay in here. Now, we do have Cradily, which resists the stab. So, yeah, if he wants to go for T-Bolt or Volt Switch, and we're specially defensive, so he can't really do a whole lot of damage to me there. And I think he might forget about Storm Drain. So, you know what? I'm going to predict a Surf. And I think he could be Choice, which would be the best possible scenario. We're going to try to activate our Storm Drain here. See what he wants to do. He does go for the Surf, so there's the Storm Drain boost. We get that special attack to +1. I don't think Giga Drain will kill because Heliolisk actually has some decent natural special defense. Uninvested, I mean. So I will just go for a Giga Drain and see what he wants to switch in. He does switch. That doesn't necessarily mean that he's choiced, because Heliolisk really doesn't have anything to hit Cradily with, unless he's carrying HP Fighting or something, or HP Ice. And Giga Drain actually just takes out the Tyrantrum from that range, probably with help due to the Stealth Rocks. But watching Cradily really kill anything outside of Toxic is kind of surprising to me. I don't know. But the Storm Drain boost really did help us out there, and now we have a sizable advantage in this match. And I think we're going to see this wind down here in a second. Either he's going to retake the momentum really quickly, or we're going to pull away, and we'll see how it pans out here. He does go back into the Heliolisk, so, I guess he was choiced. There's no reason to go back into him if you don't have anything to hit me with. So we'll see what he wants to do here. But I guess he's either Scarf or Specs, or just some kind of choice. Which, to be fair, is common for Heliolisk. I like to run those sets myself. The Heliolisk has surprisingly good coverage with Dark Pulse and Surf and such. Hyper Voice would be nice. I don't know if he gets Hyper Voice. Not sure. That would be a good secondary stab for, you know, nice coverage, I guess. So we'll see. If he's just going to go for T-Ball, well, I guess he could go for Dark Pulse. Dark Pulse could be a thing that would do neutral damage to Cradily. I don't think it would do a lot of damage, even if he is Specs, because Cradily is pretty capable of taking hits. He's taken a long time to think about this move here. I feel like we chose our move a long time ago. My strategy here is I'm just going to Giga Drain until I go down. I'm just going to abuse this Storm Drain. He does opt to go for the Dark Pulse. I'm not sure exactly if that's Specs or not. It's hard to tell. I can't really determine it from that damage. But Giga Drain is not quite enough to take him out. But with all the recovery we got from the Giga Drain and the lefties, we're almost back up to full health. I really have no reason to just not go for another Giga Drain here. We could go for a recover, I guess, but what would be the point of that? We want this Heliolisk to go down, and thankfully, somehow, we were fortunate enough to not flinch after getting hit by 2 Dark Pulses in a row. That almost never happens to me. If I get hit with 2 Dark Pulses, I'm flinching usually at least one time, if not twice. But we pull through both times there. So Cradily, he's not scared. He's not flinching. There's no scaredy cat stuff going on here. So the Durant is going to come out. This can easily one-shot Cradily. Ironhead and X-Scissor both will just destroy my life, unfortunately. We don't really need this for anything, I don't think. Well, what is his last Pokemon? Is it Sharpedo? Did we take out the Sharpedo already? I know we had one. I honestly can't remember. That's not good. That is not good. That's the downside of having longer battles. You forget what you took out and what you didn't take out yet. I'm going to switch in Wandissimo here and sacrifice it, as he does go for the Iron Head, and we avoid the attack. I'm pretty sure that would have killed us from there, even though it's resisted. I can't think of what his last Pokemon is. I will go for the Psyshock. That will take him out. We outspeed! Okay. I really didn't think too much of what we were going to go for, because I figured we would just get taken out here. That had to be Adamant Durant, because Durant definitely naturally outspeeds Delphox. So he either wasn't fully invested in speed, or he was, and he just was not jolly and was adamant instead. Sharpedo is the last Pokemon. I could have sworn we took it out, but I obviously was mistaken. I can't hit Sharpedo with anything. We could just stay in and sacrifice Wandissimo, but that just prolongs the match a little bit more, I think. When we can go into turn up here, get an Intimidate off, so Aqua Jets and Waterfalls and things of those nature will do less damage. And we should be able to finish it off with a Mach Punch or 2. As he goes for the Protect to get the speed boost up. That is interesting. So we end up getting a safe switch. I guess he doesn't have the Aqua Jet. But I was choiced anyway, so it didn't matter. I'm going to go for the Mach Punch here, and we'll see how much that does. Wow, that did a lot for a defensive Hitmontop. I know Sharpedo's defenses are poop on both sides, so he really can't take hits. There's the Waterfall. He's at -1, and he's packing the Life Orb, so it still does an okay amount, I guess. But that is pretty much gonna be the end of the match here, as one more Mach Punch will bypass the speed boost, obviously, and it's going to be a 5-0 in our favor. That was a very long match, I think, for a 5-0, and that's why, again, I always say that the score is irrelevant to how close the match is, or how good of a match Some of the best matches I've ever had, I've lost 5-0 or 6-0 even. Because it's just really back and forth, and you make one wrong move and you get swept or something. So that's just the nature of the game. It was a really fun match. I hope you had a nice time, Brady. Thank you for the match. I hope we can have another one at some point. You know, I'll be sure to ask over Twitter or whatever, and you guys can jump on it next time. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll probably be switching teams up for the next one. And with that being said, I will see you all next time. But until then, game on.